Live from the City of Angels, Sunday morning, midnight movie money, and our number one film this weekend, Valentine's Day weekend. Wuthering Heights picks up steam as Saturday was really big for this film. You look at Valentine's Day weekend and you talk about falling on a Saturday is ideal for every single studio because you've got a lot of folks out on dates. Let's get dinner and a movie. Old school, the way it used to be. Well, it was this weekend, and it really benefited Wuthering Heights as we look at the Warner Brothers email here this morning. Thanks for being here live from Los Angeles, and you can see it directly at this $40 million. That's the 4-day debut, okay? The 3-day was 34, almost call it $35 million. And then you look at the international here at $42 million, so a total of $82 million on the full global debut for Wuthering Heights. Now, as I go down here, you can see this is the 9th number one opening in a row for Warner Brothers, largest opening of the year. As we surmised, I really thought this film could get to $50 million this weekend, so I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I'm not telling you this is bad because obviously we're at $82 million versus an $80 million budget, and to be profitable, it's generally accepted that 2.5 budget equals profitability, so about $200 million. Can the film get there? Up for debate very early on, obviously, here. The cinema score B is not great. That means audiences don't love it. But remember, you heard those stories. A lot of these young kids are like, what? This is a tragedy? They don't end up waltzing off together at the end with a happy bow-tied finish. No, it is not, and that's what you get, and it's one of our favorite films of the year. You also talk about A Crime 101. We'll get to that in a minute. And then you look at a film like The Plague. This has been a good 2026 so far. Back to this Wuthering Heights breakdown, you can see here on the PLF, 31% of the business, so roughly a third, came from Dolby IMAX and other PLF premium large formats. Top 10 locations. I always love when Warner Brothers is back because they give us the top 10 locations. Number 1, AMC Lincoln Square, New York City. AMC Century City is number 2. AMC Burbank, my home theater, number 3. Regal, Union Square, New York City, 4. 5, AMC Kips Bay, New York. 6, AMC Empire, New York. AMC Grove here in LA. AMC 34th Street, New York. AMC Glendale Americana across the street here in Los Angeles from me. And then you have AMC Boston Commons. So AMC owns 9 of the 10. Regal, the only outside of AMC that has a top 10 for Wuthering Heights. Top 10 DMAs: New York, LA, Dallas, Chicago, San Fran, DC, Boston, Toronto, Philadelphia, and Atlanta. Let's go to the international, and we will get the highlights there. You can see here, we've got the number one title internationally and globally for the weekend with Wuthering Heights. As we continue down, 76 overseas markets, 14,000 plus screens on an international basis. Weekend admissions estimated 4.8 million people saw the film overseas. In Europe, huge jumps across the region, Valentine's Day. And we saw that here in the United States. Went from 11 million to nearly 15 million from Friday to Saturday. That does not happen. Typically, if you're lucky, it stays equal, right? It stays 11 to 11. In this case, it goes up because of Valentine's Day. A lot of folks had this as a date night, as I mentioned off the top. So that's why you have this pushing up higher. They also have Sunday estimated up because, remember, tomorrow's a holiday. So tonight you get screenings at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night that will play like a Saturday because the majority of people don't have work tomorrow. That's the other reason you see this number popping higher than I had it going yesterday morning. But really, it's about that Valentine's Day surge. You see excellent results in Poland, Spain, Denmark, Finland, Turkey, Greece, on and on. UK was the standout performer, nearly a third of the region's box office. Latin America, Wuthering Heights is the number one movie in the region and number one for all markets, except for Bolivia, Ecuador, and Peru. In Asia, the number one U.S. film in the region, U.S. number one, the majority of the releasing Asian markets. Territories yet to release: Japan is coming up, Vietnam, and China. Demographics, as you would expect, they are heavily female, older female, 35 plus, but there was a 23 and under. That is going to be for Jacob Elordi, right? And then you talk about the older women who are familiar with the story. Obviously, they know that this is not a rom-com where everyone ends up with each other at the end and lives long and forever and happy. No, it's not that film. And I really do think you need to see this film. We go back to my evaluation on Thursday. Huge fan of her artistic imprint, Emerald Fennell. And then you also look at the chemistry between Robbie and Elordi. That's there. You've got the music usage, Charlie XCX. It's really cinema. It really is. And listen, we have another film we'll talk about in a minute, Crime 101. What a weekend. Because you had two really outstanding films for me, rated very highly from MMT in one weekend early in 2026. So far, it's a very promising year compared to the last two. We are off to a very solid start. Talk about a solid start. I think that GOAT did well at $26 million. You look at this film coming from, a little bit of this Spider-Verse kind of push, the same look, and they try to tie it into that. It's really benefiting from the fact that you have not had a family film in the marketplace since Zootopia 2, which is still going at $1.8 billion worldwide. When you don't have anything in the marketplace of a certain genre, certainly a family film, that next film is going to benefit mightily, and that's exactly what happened here. $26 million and then 32 on the 4-day. So that's why you see two numbers here this morning, because you've got that 3-day, and of course with that extra Monday, which is the majority of people off, you're going to bounce that number higher. And that's why GOAT here, as I go to their email from Sony, and you can see they are very happy with this. They say that this is outperforming what they expected at $32 million for the 4-day. It's the biggest opening for an original animated film since Elemental back in 2023. And it's got solid Rotten Tomatoes audience score, A cinema score, 5-star post-track. So people seem to like it. I have not seen it. I don't plan to see it. I'm going to cut back on some of these things, right? It's not that I don't want to see GOAT and I wouldn't probably have some fun watching it. I'm just being a little more judicious with what films I choose to see. In fact, I was going to go see something last night and I wasn't in the mood. I will probably see Nirvana tonight. Maybe Have Fun, Good Luck, Don't Die. I don't know which one, but only one. At some point, you watch enough movies. I just need a break. I'm not like Menzel, who can watch 4 movies in one day. I'm not that guy. I need a little break. So we'll see which one I pick. I'll have that tonight on this Sunday Evening Spectacular. Let's talk about Crime 101. I mentioned it throughout this stream so far. Let's get to it. And I pull it up from boxofficereport.com. They do a nice job on X. A little hat tip to them. Amazon, really unhelpful when it comes to getting emails. I'm just trying to say, hey, man, hit me up so I can get your information on Crime 101. Big fan. They don't even bother responding. So Amazon, your PR people suck ass. Can I just say it like that? It's fine. I don't care. I love your movie. But the people you work for, you're very unprofessional and garbage. And that's fine. No big deal. I'll still praise your films, but just know that you have people that are running your little outlet there that are very poor at customer relations. No biggie. I like the film. And we look at this film, and it came up. Initially, it was supposed to be about 12 for the 3-day. We ended up at 15.14, call it 15.2-ish. And then we talk about that being the 3-day, the 4 days up to 17.8. That's what they estimate. And you talk about a film that would have done even better back in 2010. Look at a film like The Town, up to over 150 million worldwide. This film will never get there. A lot of you saying when I put that comparison, well, Hemsworth is not Affleck. Okay, listen, but the point is a film like Crime 101 would have been a bigger film back in 2010, 2011, 2000, obviously 90s. But I'm just saying, even right then, that time period when you were still seeing movies hit as big as they were, and a lot of films were doing much better than they would do today. But Crime 101, I'll take it. The problem is that the budget here is $90 million. I do not have the overseas numbers yet on this, but $90 million on a budget makes this profitable at $250 million. That's a lot of money, and it's not going to get there. There's no chance. So it's unfortunate because it is one of the best films of this early year, but I believe it has a chance to be maybe a top 10 film. The way this, for us, now when you look at this year so far, we are off to a really tremendous start compared to the last 2 years when I talk about Wuthering Heights in the 90 percentile from us, MMT, plus Crime 101, plus The Plague, which is now available on digital. If you've not seen that film, go watch that film. You got 3 90-plus ranked films for us. That's very unusual early in the year. So that speaks to probably a strong year. Let's hope it continues. We'll see if these films end up in our top 10, but go out and support Crime 101. I like this film a lot. And then we go to Send Help, which is now up to 70 plus million worldwide. The budget's, I believe, what was the budget on this? I think it was like 50 million. So this will be profitable or very close to profitable. And that's impressive. Let's hope we don't get a Send Help 2. Luckily, Rachel doesn't make it out of this film because the film's not good. Guys, this is a film that needs so much work from a screenplay perspective, but it speaks to audiences, supporting original filmmaking. And that's what we need more of. You talk about Crime 101, you look at Send Help. People need to see original stories. I know I do. I don't want to see any more sequels. I mean, it's just, unless it's of urgency and it demands that you make a sequel, there is no reason for you to be making one except for a cash grab. And you can feel that. You know it. I know it. And that is something I'm not interested in whatsoever. Solo Mio is number 5. What's impressive about this is it only dropped like 5%. Less than 10. I'll check the number in a second. It's low. The drop was really low because it fits into the Valentine's Day. It just right in there, right? It's a single guy, goes overseas. Kevin James didn't see it. Not going to watch it, okay? Not happening. But you look at it and it works within the construct of single people looking for something to see on Valentine's. And we have Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die at number 7. Really not that impressive at 3.6 million for the 3-day weekend. You look at a per screen average. We'll check it in a minute, but I'm going to guess around 2,000 or less. So it's just some of these films are doing better than others when it comes to smaller films. And this film, even though I've heard some good things about it, the runtime really runs me out of there. I mean, listen, you talk about a 2-hour and 15-minute movie. I'm telling you, when I start to choose what I'm going to go see, when I see a runtime of 2:15 versus 1:45, that 2:15 eliminates me, at least for the time being, unless I know it's going to be lights out. I give this thing a 90-plus percentile. 2:15 is too long. Wuthering Heights, too long at 2:15. Okay, Crime 101, 2:15, long, needs to be tightened. There is no reason for your film to come in over 2 hours. I want to see it back at 1:45. I want to see it old days 1:35. There's just too much leniency being granted to these directors when it comes to runtime. And here it is again. Maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't. It's that simple. But you understand what I'm saying. When you look at these things, you just say, I'm out. I don't really care to see a film that I'm already on the fence about, and then I find out that it's as long as it is. Yeah, 2:15 is long. Don't tell me 2:15 is not long. 2:15 is in my ass in a non-recliner, because this is only at the 16 in a regular seat. If this was at the 8 or the 6 where I could recline, for those of you who don't know, it's the AMC 16, 8, and 6. The 8 and the 6 have recliners across the board. Wherever the theater is, it's got inside there, whichever screening room it's in, it has recliners. I'll sit in recliner. I sat in recliner and watched Horizon, for fuck's sake. So the reason I picked it, because it had a recliner. What an awful film. By the way, who nailed that? Can I get a like right now for me? I forgot all about Horizon. I was reading something about that recently. I told you that film was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And what happened? Did we ever get Horizon 2? No, because I told you if Warner Brothers would have listened to me, we would have never acquired that film. We told Mr. Kevin Costner, take this movie and shove it up your ass. We're not releasing this. This is garbage, okay? And look, it has never come out. Who is always on the right side of history? Thank you, MMT, the gold standard. Number 1 this weekend, top 10. Here we go. Wuthering Heights is number 1 at 34.8, 40 million on the 4-day. You're looking at 9,500 per location. Again, not great. Listen, when you start talking about a film that's really doing bonkers business, you're looking at 20,000 per. So this is less than half of that. Just so you understand the success overall of a film like Wuthering Heights. Now, I'm not suggesting Wuthering Heights could have gotten to 100 million, but I still think this film should be doing 50 million plus. With those 2 stars, okay, with the source material, with a hot director, but it's not A bomb. Okay, let's make sure that's clear. $82 million versus an $80 million budget. So profitability, we don't know, but that's not a bad start when you've already covered your production budget with your take in opening weekend on a global scale. GOAT is number 2 at $26,6,700 per location. 3, Crime 101, about $5,000 per location, a little under that at $15 million. 17, call it $18 million on the 4-day. Send Help is number 4. As I mentioned, $70+ million on the global. It will be profitable or very close to it. It'll eke out just a few million extra dollars. But then, of course, it has the digital revenue that'll come in after. Solo Mio is number 5. I mentioned it was down 9%. Down 9%. So, look, $17 million on that film. So that should be profitable. How expensive could that have cost? I didn't look at the budget. But a movie with Kevin James going over to, Italy? Spain? Wherever he goes. I am assuming Italy, given the title. Zootopia 2 is number 6, $1.8 billion on the global on that film. Only 419 from the States. So that is interesting, right? We talked about how China was so massive for that film. You're talking about 1.4 billion of its cash coming from overseas. Good luck, have fun, don't die. As I mentioned, number 7, actually at $2,250 per location. Better than $1,500, but not a massive hit for Briarcliff. But Briarcliff, probably for them, it's one of their bigger movies, to be honest with you. Avatar Fire and Ash, still roughly $900 million behind Avatar 2. It is number 8. That's not significant or anything, right? Remember my Avatar lovers? They're like, you don't know what you're talking about, Weber. Oh, minus $900 million. $900 million. $900 million. Well, it's not a big deal. These people are so disingenuous. Can you imagine? How do you even have a debate or a discussion with someone who is disingenuous, like the Avatar fan? But it's still profitable. We're not talking about that, buddy, are we? We're talking about $900 million under. The gold standard, bench you over, baby. Take it. Iron Lung is number 9, and number 10 is Dracula, now at $9 million. I have not seen Dracula. Sadly, I did see Iron Lung. Boy, that was really awful. That was terrible. Hugely profitable film, but just god awful. Okay, guys, here we go. I'll be back here tonight. I'm off to the beach. It's not the best weather here, but hey, I'm going. By the way, you're like, why does Weber have a bandage across his nose? Because remember, I got my glasses smashed across my face with a nice, juicy, bloody cut across the ridge of my nose. So it's healing. It's almost there. We should have it off tonight. I'm going to give it just a little bit. I have a special healing Band-Aid. So plus, it makes me look like I just got into a street fight. It's good. It's fine. It's all good. Thanks for being here. Live from LA. We'll see you back here tonight for this Sunday evening spectacular on this holiday weekend. Midnight Movie Money is off the air. See you tonight. MMT. Peace out.